Greetings and welcome back to Stellaris, my Commonwealth of Man playthrough. So I've just gotten done spending several hours editing videos, no problems whatsoever. I go to start recording an episode and have a sneezing fit. Anyway, I have begun modifying the Praku species to remove Decadent. I'm going to reopen and allow them to start breeding since we have a shortage of crystals and an extra indentured servant would fill some of the specialist jobs. I've also gone ahead and created the template for the clear. Now, the species modification will only take 2 months. Alien entity identified. A tubular alien entity has entered orbit of Leffingwell with no warning or explanation. It appears to be moving without engines or thrusters, gliding in complete silence through the void of space. Cylinders rotating ominously. Though it has yet to display any signs of aggression, it refuses to acknowledge our hails. Our military advisors warn that it may pose a considerable threat to the inhabitants below and implore us to engage neutralization protocols. Our scientists, however, plead that we instead learn from the remarkable piece of technology. Oh, and I can use the influence anyway. The safety of our people must come first. That didn't create a situation log. Does it turn it hostile? We'll find out when Hippogriff starts headed through here. That did give us a chunk of influence at least.
New species variant available.
Alright, we've completed modifying the Praku species. I'm going to go to the species tab. And disable their population controls so that they will start breeding. Rishethian State broke off their research agreement with the hegemony of Ubaria. No, it doesn't look like I actually have to attack it. Oh my! It's going to fail right now? That's nice. While I was checking my planets, I noticed we have the alien studies on Leffingwell. As long as the enigmatic cache remains in orbit, our scientists will have ample opportunity for research. Now, I have no research here on Leffingwell, so that's not helping out Leffingwell, but that does mean I might, as long as it's not doing any hostile actions, it doesn't look like I have to follow up my claim that the safety of our people takes precedence. I would love for it to be doing this scan on my science worlds to give me a boost to research. So we are going to hold off on that. Now, otherwise, it is doing a small effect. The tubular torment is creating happiness issues with some population, but not all of them. They're just going to have to deal with it. I don't really think we can chase this thing off right now. And I also noticed I am exactly 20 naval capacity, or 20 from my naval capacity limit. That means that I have exactly enough ships on their way out to reach the limit. I have 2 battleships and 1 cruiser being constructed. When they come out in about 5 months, then I will have 20 more ships added. So right now I'm at my naval capacity until I can expand it further.
Fleet action underway.
Where? This is Pegasus. So we're going to see how well Pegasus, which is designed to get up close and personal. All of these ships are loaded with autocannons. The Pegasus destroyers, the charging Colt, it has torpedoes and autocannons. The charging Stallion, torpedoes and autocannons. And the flying Stampede. Now, this does have a couple of missiles as well as some X-ray lasers, but the X-ray lasers have the same range as the autocannons. And of course, we have the ancient driller drones. So the Swarmer missiles and the X-ray lasers should work on the armor a little bit. The driller drones are going to be completely ignoring the armor, but they have to get through the shields first. These things have no shields, so these things are going to be going directly to hull. Now I am going to slow this down because I want to see how well, although we severely outpower them, I want to see how well this fleet performs. Alright, there are some little flagella headed my way. What about my ships? Yes, I can already see my little driller drones headed that way. They're actually kind of cute, aren't they? Oh well. But yeah, we're going to see this combat and see how it progresses. Their amoeba are getting shot down pretty quickly. And that was a very fast fight. Now you should have orders to go back in a second. They did not get past our shields, nor did any of their strike craft make it to us. So this fleet performed fairly well. The torpedoes, I didn't actually see any of them being launched, honestly. I was not zoomed in enough to notice. The torpedoes were very efficient against armor, but the flak batteries and the Ripper autocannons brought down our average to 50%. The Ripper autocannons are the ones that did the most damage. Or fired the most, I think. That's the reason the average is so low. Everything was very effective against Hull. And we had quite a few swarmer missiles hit the armor, but not quite as many hit Hull. Our torpedoes did pretty much equal damage to the armor and hull. And of course the driller drones did a very good amount of damage to the hull. So yeah, that was a weak fleet, so it's kind of hard to use that as an estimation as, yeah, these fleets are effective. Alright, we're going to pull... That ship has no... We're going to pull this ship, and we will pull the leader out of one of these others. We'll get Anushka. So we're going to assign Anushka to this ship. Send her to research that project. And then return to assist research here. And yeah, I don't need to zoom in to do that. I can just do active reconnaissance here. There we go. How long is it going to take her to get over there? 6 months to get over there. 3 months to scan that. 6 months to get back. A little over a year. Now, another thing I thought of is the defensive pact with them. Now, the icon for them being ready to declare war on me disappeared before we signed the defensive pact. If it hadn't, I could blame the defensive pact because they're caught in a truce with the Alliance until 2354, August of 2354. So they would not have been able to declare war on me knowing they would go to war with the defensive pact. But because of that defensive pact, I think I am, once again, going to delay going to war. This will give me time to build up influence and claim this last sector. And have a little bit of influence banked. My plan now is to keep 200 influence banked, or between 200 and 250 banked at all times. So I don't have to wait for it to build up anymore for things that I might need it for in a hurry. I'm going to be doing something with influence every January, if I can. On even-numbered years, I will do something internal. Whether it is starting a megastructure, or doing a decision on a planet, or something of that nature that requires influence spent to improve my empire in some way. On odd-numbered years, I will be doing something external, whether it is a espionage activity, something in the Senate, or dealing with my vassals, or making a claim. So I think I should have enough influence built up January of 2351 to make this claim. And then we're going to let it build up to about 250 before we do anything else. Of course, I can still be doing these megastructures. Since I earn more in a year than it cost on this, it'll just be a reduction to how long it takes to build up. And we're still about 3 months out for Strikeforce Dragon to take on its space amoeba. Oh, I'm still on slowest. That would explain why turns seem to be taking forever right now, or days seem to be taking forever. We have made it into the sector with these. Now Strikeforce Dragon. We are all about armor and hull melting. Mainly armor is how much these do bonus damage against armor and hull, but more against armor. Now we do have some autocannons and things. Now I would like to see how well this fleet performs and when it engages.
Construction complete.
All of our hangar bays have been swapped over to be torpedo batteries. Looks like we may not even engage before I do my maintenance.
Fleet action underway.
I was mistaken. They are heading our way. We are eliminating... Well, that fight was over fairly quickly. I can see the balls of energy headed that way. My driller drones. And of course we were shooting down their flagella pretty quickly. They didn't even damage us because we had engaged them at such a far range. We shot down all of their strike craft. Our proton launchers, oh, we had proton launchers, I'd forgotten about that. Proton launchers, plasma accelerators, melted their armor completely. And also their hull. So yeah, those handful of proton launchers and such was all it really required to take care of that. The science ship is in the sector, so we will have Yun research that project and then return. I don't need to zoom in, I don't know why I keep doing that, to active reconnaissance over there. I have begun converting the Gleer species so I can remove their population controls as well, since they are also indentured servants. From gates opened. That's an interesting name for a fleet. Under the Pale Star of Memories Lost. I kind of like their fleet naming over here. From Ash Risen with Vigilance. Yeah, they got some pretty cool fleet names in the hierarchy of Moffith. I have also started building ancient refineries on every world that had available building slots that didn't already have one, so that I can up my crystals for now, so I can go back to running the extended sensors. I will probably get rid of them, because just building them for a handful of refinery jobs, because it'll add 3 of refinery jobs, I don't know if that's worth the building slot when I could make it a planet more specialized with other things. If it doesn't already have rare resources on it, or I'm not planning on making it a refinery, I think I will probably end up moving those buildings when I start building actual refinery habitats. Now, I believe this fleet is now at full strength. Not quite. I will be able to move it in October and be able to get it back down into position. Now, my plan when this war goes in, we have fleets here. I would like their fleets to move in so that I can I can keep one of my fleets back here taking point to keep all of my allies from charging off, and be able to conduct my test one system at a time with the separate fleets and see how well they perform. Now, why aren't you coming back? When Strikeforce Pegasus can go ahead and charge into Bombala as soon as the war starts, since there are no defenders over here. But I want to draw their defenders away so I can test the effectiveness of Hippogriff against these stations and see how well Hippogriff would perform against their platforms and stations, since they're all shorter range than Hippogriff. And I'm still on slowest, I just realized. Every time I slow that down for combat, I forget to speed it back up. Yeah, Strikeforce Dragon is moving. Strikeforce Dragon
species variant available.
should have no problems. Terraforming on Kornagi 4 is finished faster than initially estimated, which has left our terraforming specialist with time to experiment, and the results are impressive. The planet's natural traits have been enhanced to be both aesthetically pleasing and utilitarian. So that would give 10 amenities. Or do I have to make it look so artificial? We'll add happiness and immigration pull. I'll just go with the amenities. I'll just say marvelous and add extra amenities. We have completed mineral cutting beams. These powered short-range lasers can easily slice through rock, making the extraction of minerals a more efficient affair. Corps of Engineers will reduce starbase upgrade cost and upgrade speed. Synthetic crystal plants. I really want the Corps of Engineers, because we have citadels we can upgrade to. That would take 21 months. As much as I need synthetic crystal plants, this being a rare tech and me having a Voidcraft investigator here, I'm going to push this one out first. The Soren have that one. The Multics have that one. Nobody is giving me a bonus to gateway travel. Interesting. That does remind me, though. What if I were to declare war on the... You squeaky little bastards. What if I was to declare war on the Multics territories? We must break our defensive pacts before we can declare war on them. They are in defensive pacts with someone. They are pledging secret fealty to the Glosswerhinians. Whose vassal are they? Soren. Okay, so yeah. Carving out the Multics is not an option because of the Soren. They are our allies. They would be interested in secret fealty to us, because they are very disloyal. We could break them away from the Soren, and that would cause us, because of our defensive pact, to be able to go to war with them. We do not currently have an envoy here. We need to be here to create problems between them and the Soren. I think I can spare one from the community. I've got 4 there. So let us place one from the Galactic community. Actually, I want the Galactic community to be the top one, so let's go to the bottom one who's in there. Mitsu. And put Mitsu over here developing a spy network. Now I should be able to order... Yes, they're at full strength. Strikeforce Hippogriff is. We're going to send Strikeforce Hippogriff to Imileto.
Battle debris secured.
A little bit of progress toward the amoeba breeding program and a token bit of society research. Oh, and I forgot to go to species and change their population controls to no population controls, so they will start breeding. Now, I'm curious. Yes, each subspecies can have separate rights. So I could actually have just taken the Ichnerval and modified them to be like different forms of chattel slave. You only really need one alien species once you get the ability to modify to really shift around. I just like doing it as separate species because it's a little bit easier for me. Are those my Fortress Legionnaire reinforcements? Yes. Yeah, when I shared technology, the Fortress Legionnaires were able to get up to a higher fleet size. Scientist Amy Keeler has gained new skills. Doesn't tell me which one. Archaeo studies through hard work and experience. Truitt has been terraformed into a continental world. That should seriously help with the stability and performance here now that our humans have better 100% habitability as opposed to 40%. It will also cut down on how much food and consumer goods they were needing. Sovereignty of Tuxcali has entered a commercial pact with the Kessim Confederacy, and I had completely forgotten about the CNS Summit sitting here. Let us colonize this world as Asher. Considering it used to be a tomb world, I think that's appropriate. This looks like another good candidate for becoming an ecumenopolis, though it may lose the engineered nature when that happens. I don't know.
Inbound message traffic.
Tenderzun would like a research agreement. We can learn a bunch of technologies and share a handful. That would be another quarter of a influence point we would be losing. We currently have 5 research agreements. I think we're at the extent of our research agreements right now. You are a temporary alliance, and you're being awfully friendly for xenophobes. I appreciate that. But no. We're getting a decent amount from the 2 that really matter, which is the Soren and the Multics. We could probably end up dropping some of these others. See, they have a trust of 100. We could keep the commercial pact with them and drop the research agreement. That would still leave us with the commercial pact for trust. And they have a sufficient cushion of loyalty. Yeah, let's break this research agreement. We've already broken the research agreement with them. We'll break the research agreement with the Miravandians. It's sharing very little with us. They can form research agreements with other people. So that's 2 research agreements down. We have one with the Multics. And I think we're going to break it. Let's see, we're able to learn 21, 32, 24 with the Soren. Yeah, I think we're getting everything from the Soren that we would get from the Multics. So let's break that research agreement. So that is 3 research agreements down. That should leave us 2 research agreements. And with whom do we have them? I know we have one with the Soran. Who is our other research agreement? Is it the autocracy of Rakaron? Yes. Alright, so we're going to break our research agreement with them. Let's make sure, see what we're getting from it. Yeah. Break our research agreement with them. We are going to go to our holdings. Let's go to Rakaron proper. They're in the late medieval. Go to our holdings. We are going to destroy the satellite campus here. And over on Nauvalis, we already have an Overlord garrison. We are going to rebuild our Overlord garrison in Hazar. On Ira Obis, where we currently have our armies parked anyway. And that way we can stabilize their loyalty loss a little bit. But that should be a good chunk of consumed influence brought back. We could probably end up dropping... We're getting 1,200 from trades. I don't think we can afford to drop the trades right now.
Inbound message traffic.
They want to reform the thing. We're not sharing that much with them. I'm sorry, no. I need my influence. So yeah, now we're up to 7.52. We're down to 1 research agreement. It is with the Soran. We do have 6 commercial packs. Let's see, we have the Soran We have our 4 allies, or at least 3 of our allies. Yeah, I don't think we have a commercial agreement with our Stellarium, but we have it with the other 3. So there's 4 of them. We have 1 with the Multics and 1 with the Tender Sun. Attention humans! If you have need of others to fight your battles for you, know that Obsidian mercenary fleets are now available for hire. Yes, you heard correctly. If you can meet their prices, the best mercenaries in the galaxy are now willing to fight for you. So that means the fleet that was hired to raid me gave up, never made it? Good to know. Really? Do you guys still exist? I don't see... Oh, they're Obsidian freeholders or something. They're probably just in that sector. And I never did meet these guys. Now, since it is an odd-numbered year, it is time to do something external. Barbin, I believe, is the last sector we have to put a claim on. That left us with 40. And we want to kind of let that build up to about 250 minimum, so we're going to try and spend cheap things. Next year, at the even-numbered year, we will start working on another stage in this hyper relay. And then when we come back to the odd year, we'll do one of the cheaper claims here, because I have decided, since we're going to be waiting about 4 more years anyway, we should probably lay claims to all of the Uthabulan unions and just obliterate them. Especially since I do believe they have done, yes, they have started on a cybernetic ascension path. So we want to kind of obliterate them. Especially considering the problems we've had with robots in the past. These cybernetic guys there, and the fact that they don't like us, we're just going to completely obliterate their existing empire and turn them into vassals. Spin them off into sectors. We might even consider holding on to the territories long enough to wipe out all of the Uthabulans, the cybernetic models, and then turn this over to be a vassal. But that would be a lot of unrest we would have to deal with in the interim. Depends on how many we can obliterate by bombarding their planets.
Inbound message traffic.
They want the research agreement back. They're sharing more than we are, but no, we're going to decline. Now I do need to check, since I did drop those. First, let's check our agreements. They're all still positive. Now let's check trust on each of these. Trust cap is still 100. We'll check it again in another month. Scientist Horatio Quinn died at the age of 95. That was in the Traveler. Now, do I have 2 Travelers? Is that the reason I made the mistake earlier? No, I do not have 2 Travelers. I don't know why I got the Traveler wrong before. We don't need one in the Astute, so we will just... We actually need our highest level here, because Deneb is another major source of research. So we can take the one from the Nomad, Yekaterina. Now the Nomad is currently doing assisting research. Everything else we have is level 2 or lower. We'll take the one from the Wayfarer, because that one is just doing active reconnaissance. Now we do need to tell the Traveler to assist research again, because since it doesn't pause when they die, if it continues without a scientist, it stops assisting.
Battle debris secured.
A little bit more toward the amoeba breeding program. We still haven't completed it. You are on your way back to do reconnaissance. Now my food took a dive again because I moved a lot of Iknerval, who were serving as farmers, over to become technicians instead. Hegemony of Ubaria broke their migration treaty with the Adnoran League. Okay, it's been another month. Let's go to our contacts. We still have a trust cap of 100 with them.
En evaluar them.
We have only a 50 trust with them. Still have a trust of 100 with them. And our trust is down to 50 with the Allied Multics, because we only have the commercial pact. Now we do need to kind of get a commercial pact going here. That would be another 0.25 we'll be spending there. And we mainly want to do this to build up their trust. Although they don't really need it right now, so it's not a critical issue. Tinder Zun created a new branch office on Bastion. Thebes now has a commercial forum and a corporate embassy. Same for Truett. Felnull defeated an ancient threat in the XT-81 singularity. That would have been the dimensional horror. So there's one dimensional horror I know of left. Whispers and rumors concerning possible ties to organized crime have surrounded Governor Yingling for some time now. The governor has dismissed these claims as malicious libel invented by political rivals, but recent evidence suggests there may be more to it than that. Oh boy. She's 76. She's in the Leffingwell sector. That affects a lot of area. But I think we can still keep it down. Let's see, anything in the Leffingwell sector. I should probably reorganize my planets to be by sector. So Unity, Flaxington, Dawnlight, Destinicon, Destiny, Doran and Mendos, and Camelot, and St. Natchbull, Fincastle. There'd be an easier way to do this. If we bring up sectors. This lists all the ones in the Unity sector. Unity, Flaxington, Dawnlight, St. Natchbull, Doran, Fincastle, Mendos, Hawksworth, Destinicon, Destiny, then Camelot. Now in the Leffingwell sector, we have Leffingwell, Procloss, Bastion, and Melpomene. And then in the Earth 2, it is Earth 2, Thebes, Truett, and Asher. So now, if I went to the Leffingwell sector, I can check the crime levels on each of these and just use tab. So that would be 108%, and we can reduce 90. I can deal with that. 55, and we reduce 65. 74, and we reduce 65. Almost 40. 37, and we are only reducing 15. We don't have any enforcers here yet, but we do have a human we could move up to enforcer. There we go. So now we should be reducing it by 40. That should be good. Now, when we come back through here next month, let's see, this one, we could run crime campaigns on all of these for now. Leffingwell, if we run a crime campaign, why am I not able to run a crime campaign? Because I currently have no crime. You have to have crime visible to be able to launch a crime campaign. Why am I not getting the option on Earth 2? I guess that is not sufficient crime. Well, we'll see when it comes around. Because it should all update. Hell, it might have updated now. Alright, 7% crime. 8%. 2%. Not worth running a crime campaign. We can handle small percentages. And just deal with this governor's bad connections. Now let's back to be passing. Still got 2 years.
Science Division report success.
Gateway activation. The ability to reactivate the derelict gateway stations that can be found scattered throughout the galaxy has the potential to dramatically shorten travel times. Positronic AI would take 2.5 years, give us more research speed boost. About the same time as physics research, and that only helps my physics. I could knock out barrier point defense in a year, but I think the research alternatives are worth the delay. So 2.5 years to get, not research alternatives, but research speed. Persistent petitioners. Our delegations in the galactic community are extremely persistent and will not take no for an answer. It might take time, but we will obtain what we deserve. After a resolution is passed by another empire, gain 25% diplomatic weight until one of your own passes. And then we'll get the one where whenever one of ours passes, we get unity, which could be very useful in fueling additional traditions.
Science Division report success.
Secrets of life. Having an opportunity to study the multitudes of life lets us find some common ground for all living beings. The foundational building blocks of life. Ancient Saturator Artillery. That is the shield begone X-slot weapon. It absolutely will melt shields. Refit standards would be good for our ships. Auto-curating vault, of course. More naval capacity. First League filing office is still 2 years away. It's getting a lot closer. We could have 30 more naval capacity in 10 months. That would allow us to reinforce Chimera a little bit more. It'd be about the same time we start spending alloys on upgrading our star bases too. A human superior? Wait. Pop of our founder species, human superior, is up for sale on the slave market. That's not our... And I figured out why this is blank right now. Because if you bring it up by clicking on energy credits or something else, it doesn't have a commodity selected. As soon as I select a commodity, it'll fill in. Slave market. Human superior is not one of our founding species. They are cyborgs. Okay, we're going to have to wipe out the United Nations of Earth. They're embracing cybernetics, those robotic bastards. No, we don't want your cybernetic bastards. The Ganvius are plantoids. Really, they look like hydras. What have they done to our homeland? Getting those miserable cybernetic implants on every human. Insidious plot uncovered. Our operatives in the Uthabulin Union have uncovered something unusual, credible hints that the Democratic Clearing Union are plotting to deceive us. Those fiends. Ooh, chunk of unity. Will that... Let's see, 56 months? Knock 7 months off of that. So in 4 years, we will have national agenda. And I just realized we had gotten a contact over here I'd never checked out, a bureaucrat, disgruntled bureaucrat that has been lured into our service through promises, false promises of a better life. Sasodem Kurpadarn. Now it is an even numbered, so we need to do some infrastructure things, and I want to go back to continuing this hyper relay network. We've just got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more to do. And this is going to be my priority on even-numbered years because it uses very little of my influence and will allow more to accumulate. But we're going to continue this until we get to Hazar. We might actually extend it along this way to Dyrachus so that we can get into Mazum when we conquer it. And then again, we would need 3 more right there. But we can't get over there to build them right now. But yeah, we could extend it all the way to Dyrachus for now. So that would be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And 3 more plus MASM, so 4 more total, will give us a connection. Because I believe there's already one in Vuzabaru. Yes. And there might be one, yeah, there is one, it's not connected to the network in Huff. So once we get those, we would have a complete connection all the way up. I believe there are ones over here, yes. So when we take over this territory, it's already a given for us, basically. Still can't do subjugate. Genlot Conclave is in a migration treaty with the Uthabulan Union for as long as they exist.
A new world has been secured for our colonists.
Asher is now colonized. We'll start with the gene clinics and then the Autochthon monument when it is completed. The Wasagen sovereignty has declared war on our ally, the Tendrazun. Currently we are at war with them. This is going to be an uprising, the Jurg Quirlid uprising. Only the main attacker or defender can achieve war goals. So now we're getting reconnaissance on them. You know, we have a fleet in the area. How big is theirs? $40K. I don't think ours is a match for that right now. Who all is in this war? All of us! Alright, let us launch all of our armies. But then we want to break off a garrison to remain here. So half of our armies, I could have just said, alright, split fleet. Oh, you did it 1, 2, and 3. Oh, you bastards. Alright, transfer ships. Transfer a human assault legion over there. Transfer a janissary back. Alright, so this one is 2 slave armies and an assault legion. Transport 46 can re-land. Transport 45 and these two need to merge. Fortress Legionnaires are here too. Wait, Fortress Legionnaires are only 7K? Oh, this is the Fortress Legionnaires. This fleet is. We're getting more reinforcements. I will wait for the remainder of the reinforcements until Fortress Legionnaires is up to its full capacity. And hold here and see what my allies do. They don't appear to have fleets in the vicinity. They have fairly weak fleets. Now, Hazar is a pretty good star base. With... oh, it actually has decent range weapons. It has railguns on it. Railguns and missiles. Lasers. Good, you guys didn't go with the autocannon disruptor spam, but that's probably just because you don't have the techs. We are going to hold here. The one that isn't landing needs to go back to the star base. We'll push in later. We are definitely going to push in to attack these fleets so that we can get some salvage, though. I just want a little bit more of a clear advantage. I want to see which way their fleets go.
Skywatch has sighted a spaceborne lifeform.
Oh, and I was supposed to be doing maintenance, I think. We spotted a spaceborne lifeform. That may have just been them turning evil. Oh, we have some Yankee over here. Let's send Pegasus to go deal with them. And I guess we can send a science ship that way. Now, who are our opponents in this? Just the sovereignty? It'd be 200 to start claiming systems over here. Let's see, 200 for that one. 180 for that one. 180 for that one. So about 600 influence to claim these 3 sectors that revealed, and since I would put claims on them, well, actually, there would already be existing claims on them. Yeah, the Miravandian Coalition has 10 claims on them. The Tendrazun have 1. The Autocracy of Rakaron has 1. This is just the Tendrazun. And this is just the Tendrazun. We would need multiple claims here, honestly, to be able to actually get this sector away from them. While we're at it, we should have looked at claims on these. Looks like these are all currently unclaimed. Now we could reduce the cost of the claims over here if we can declare them as a rival. We don't know their relative power. We're just going to wait here and see if they come toward us until we get our full reinforcements for Fortress Legionnaires. We do have Strikeforce Behemoth still on its way with 3 battleships. Strikeforce Charybdis has a battleship as well, and this Fortress Legionnaire fleet is also a battleship. So that's 7 battleships that will be joining the Fortress Legionnaires. That'll get us up to a lot higher than we should be, since each battleship is 8. Yeah, we'll see what our fleet capacity becomes then. Speaking of fleet capacity, I could go ahead and increase the fleet capacity again. I can do it again in a year. So we can let Fortress Legionnaires get even larger. Now we can go up to 190. But we'll just hold here, waiting to see what the Hurricane does. Sauron Combined Clans is in a migration treaty with the Hierarchy of Moffith. Tendrazun broke their migration with the Verzak. Gloswerhenians broke theirs with the Verzak. Wasigian Sovereignty joined the Galactic community. They appear to be heading out of the system. Allied Multics broke off the commercial pact with United Latrepian domains. Alright, they left, heading to Verzak space, which does have friendly fleets in it. Sufficient, I think, to handle these. Let's see. I can't click on their fleets. Maybe not. Yeah, it looks like they only have 16k in fleet. 12k there. They have a 13k thing, but I think that they're going to get hit pretty hard. But since they left, the Fortress Legionnaires can claim this sector, and then we can see about conquering their planets. They don't have much in the way of defenders, so our fleet should be able to quickly capture their capital. We may want to hire a general. We'll get the one that's adapter. Mosey, go on. Viet has no planets. Awarth has no planets. So this is the only planet we need to capture. And if we can quickly take this system, that system, and that system, they'll lose it again, and the war will be over. Now, since we are officially in the mid-game, I am rather hoping that machine uprisings affect quite a few other empires out there, especially those that are not friendly to us. Well, they blew through those defense platforms pretty quickly. But they will be taking damage. We have a new proposal. Minor research sanctions. We'll support that. Looks like the veto power should be the next one. And this one is currently going to pass.
Ships refitted.
And I also renamed the class for Strikeforce Scylla. Scylla is actually a Greek legend having to do with basically a hydra that lived on a rock and across from a whirlpool that people would be, and actually that whirlpool was Charybdis. Right there, Strikeforce Charybdis. They would be, when they went too close to the rock to avoid the whirlpool, the many heads would reach out and snag people off the boat. So I decided that this strike fleet is going to be a little bit more aquatic boat based. I changed the destroyers to be morays. They still are using Ripper autocannons, but instead of 2 smalls in the back, they have 1 medium. And I switched them to be stealthers. And while a weak stealth is not very effective when I go into enemy territory, these would make a very good job of patrolling my territory. If I have a threat of enemies or enemies start popping up, I can get these guys, because they can't break the stealth in my own territory, get these guys to sneak in close and then unload on them with those autocannons at close range. What do your battleships look like? Oh, you started putting in bigger autocannons. But yeah, you're still mainly autocannons. Well, you do have some kinetic batteries. That's nice. Mainly autocannons with a plasma accelerator. So they aren't that great against armor. Let's see how effective Fortress Legionnaires is against a station. They flipped that station. Doesn't look like
Engaging enemy station.
Took too much damage. Well, we had to get pretty close because of the autocannons, didn't we? Alright, I'm going to go ahead and do my maintenance, and then we're going to see how effective the Fortress Legionnaires are. Well, we're launching something. That most likely are the kinetic batteries. What are those things that they launch that don't seem to be going after any of our ships? Are those proton launchers? Look at all of those autocannons. Alright. They had plasma accelerators and autocannons. And they did a little bit of hull damage to us. We lost a corvette and a frigate. We had proton launchers, kinetic batteries, autocannons, and plasma throwers. It was primarily the kinetic batteries that knocked down the shields. Space torpedoes, proton launchers. We had a bunch of stuff going after. And of course it was the plasma throwers, the proton launcher, and the space torpedoes that were most effective here. And then hull-wise, overall we still were very ineffective against shields due to these autocannons. We had a large amount of autocannons, to armor. We had a large amount of autocannons that just were not cutting it. Alright, where's my army? Go ahead and land. Oh crap, they've churned out some more defenses. 114 versus what? 96? That's a bit risky. Enter orbit again. Get over here and bombard. They're moving in an 8K battle group and an 888 transport fleet, so they may end up taking the system. Tendrazun retook that system. So once we get Viet and the planet, and knock out their fleet that is currently partially occupying that, we can end this war. We have a new proposal. Repeal administrative insight. Our focus on eliminating bureaucratic red tape, while successful, has caused several member states to complain that their sovereignty has been compromised. They are now proposing a mandate to restore some of that lost independence. Nope. I like administrative insight. Verzak wants to repeal that. Administrative insight is the now it is available for us to propose borderless authority, but it has weak support. And we are more focused on claims right now anyway. Let's see, would you pop me? Exceptional grade 1. Yeah, I can't get into their system. Not made it in a position to bombard yet.
Science Division reports a new breakthrough.
A couple of breakthroughs, actually. Tenderzun built a branch office on St. Natchbel. This one can have 4 holdings. Doctrine Fleet Support. As extrasolar expeditions become more common, it is important to provide planet-side relief for returning fleets. Now, we actually had already bumped up our naval usage when those fleets merged. We can get more starbase capacity. That would be more anchorages, more naval capacity. Boost our naval capacity directly again. That would take a year and a half. Not really that interested, even though it only takes a year, in the upgrade to the gene clinics so much. Additional starbase capacity would be in 10 months. And that would allow us to easily boost our naval capacity more to finish these other fleets. I think we will go for that. Corps of Engineers. The creation of a dedicated naval engineering corps will greatly benefit the construction of deep space defense platforms, decreasing building cost and increasing durability. Well, actually, this is for the actual starbase upgrades, not for the defense platforms. Now that we can build orbital rings, this one would allow us to do the low-gravity mega refiners that would boost our mineral output. We do get quite a bit in taxes. And it also qualifies us for a holding that is based upon having the mineral purification hubs. And we do have quite a glut right now of volatile motes, though we are catching up in gases and crystals again. So let's go for advanced mineral purification, I believe. 11 months. And as a matter of fact, we need to reactivate our crystal sensors. They're building assault armies. Robots. Wait a minute. Was this uprising a robot uprising? Doesn't appear to be. No, these robots are still servants. Oh, here they come back. And we've got about 48k here. They're going to pop in right there. Their fleet size was what? 47k, but they are damaged. We are all close range ships, and they are fairly close range. So this will be an ugly battle, but I think we can pull it off.
Fleet action underway.
Did the other fleet add in? Yes. The Punitive Response Flotilla. Oh, they're damaged. So this ought to be an interesting fight. There go our kinetic batteries. There go our proton launchers. And look at all of that concentrated fire headed that way. Oh, we're shooting down fighters. And it looks like all of our ships and all of their ships just kind of close in, because those are battleships coming up into close range. Looks like we are winning. They're down to 35k. Combined, we're still 45. But that could rapidly change. Verzak Galactic Technocracy entered a migration treaty with the autocracy of Rakaron. Seeing all of those autocannons hitting those shields. Tender Sun is in migration treaty with the Verzak again. It's almost out of armor. Oh, how the tides have turned. Oh, here comes another 7k fleet. Looks like they're down to 4 battleships. Those, I think, are siphons. They're not going to be doing a whole hell of a lot of damage. They're trying to run. This one's about had it. And it's gone. Alright, how much did we lose? I think we lost a lot. Let's check the army. Yeah, they built up some assault armies. Where's my fleet? 16k. Yeah, enter orbit of there and do some bombardment. Oh my! Alright. We lost 8 destroyers, they lost 5. We lost 19 corvettes, they lost 13. We lost 10 frigates, they lost 12. We lost 6 cruisers, they lost 10. We lost 1 battleship, they lost 9. Yeah, we lost a lot of the smaller ships, but that's exactly what they're for. The smaller ships serve as the targets because they are quicker and easier to replace and cheaper, and don't carry the firepower of the larger ships. Alright, they had autocannons, flak artillery, plasma accelerators. Armored torpedoes. That's what we were shooting at, was the torpedoes originally, I think. Oh, they also had strike craft. Now, they shot down 3 missiles. We shot down 11. Or 1 missile and 10 strike craft. Now, some of the strike craft did still get through. And, of course, we had autocannons and plasma launchers. Says they shot down 3 missiles. I'm not seeing any missiles or torpedoes in my damage, so that must be the only 3 missiles we shot. We have some debris there. We'll go ahead and research that project and then go back to active reconnaissance. This has tachyon sensors, advanced combat computers, advanced afterburners, flak artillery, improved strike craft, and advanced, well, it has a lot of advanced combat computer. So sensors, afterburners, combat computers, flak artillery, strike craft will all get a little progress, I think. That was an ugly fight, though, for the Fortress Legionnaires. They lost a lot of their ships. But you know what? That's what mercenaries are for. We could already settle status quo. They suffered 98% exhaustion by losing 62 ships to our 43. Because that was the majority of their fleet that we just took out. They're already at 100% exhaustion. All we really need to do, and there's a friendly fleet already en route to take this system, though the Jade Thistle is bigger than this. Yeah, this is just an outpost. You'll take that. And then we just need to capture the planet and retake Sillage. Hopefully one of their fleets will head over to Sillage to retake it while I'm bombarding this planet so that we can begin the invasion. I had completely forgotten we had access to networked movement. The relay network can be enhanced with regular shuttle flights to encourage the internal migration of POPs. That reduces resettlement cost, which is the only part that's really important to me because I am constantly shifting POPs, so even cheaper resettlement cost is good, and we had sufficient moats to handle that, I believe. Although that is going to bleed a little bit more into our unity, just by about 100. I think that shouldn't be too big of a deal. That's 5%. So that means this will probably add maybe 2 months. I can speed this back up now that we're not in combat. And once we get back to bombarding this, I can keep an eye on it until somebody lands armies. Yeah, the other fleet isn't bothering to repair either. They're just headed over here. Oh, because we are set to discourage. Okay. It's going down about 1% a day or so. Admiral Manon Leclerc died at the age of 96. That was the one in charge of Strikeforce Dragon. Scout is always a good one. But I want aggressive. So Dudley Bassett. Dudley the Hound. That's what we'll call him. And let's hotkey up this planet as 6 so that we don't have to return here when we want to see how well we're bombarding it. We could be elsewhere in the Empire, just keeping an eye on it. Speaking of being elsewhere in the Empire, those amoeba left, so I had to reroute my ships back to where they needed to be. Invasion is taking place from our allies. Since that is the case, we are going to take our fleet, no longer necessary to sit here in orbit bombarding while they are invading. We are going to return to Hazar for repairs. And we are going to take our fleet and also return it to Hazar. Actually, that's only a 6.4K. We're really beat up, though. Yeah, we need to repair before our shields are full, but still, anything that gets through could potentially blow up a ship. So yeah, we're going to return back for repairs. We will let them worry about retaking that system. So I no longer really need to keep an eye on this. We can remove this hotkey. They have sufficient armies there to retake this planet. They've just got like 3 robots and an assault army. A human assault army? Yeah, you have humans. There's your humans. Those aren't my humans. Those are from the United Nations of Earth. Sovereignty of Tuxcali broke the commercial pact with the Tender Sun. Why am I not researching the debris? Oh, because telling it to do active reconnaissance, it seems to be canceling that, even though I'm hitting shift. Now let's see if I can do it. Nope, still cancels it. So research the damn debris first. So the Wasigian sovereignty has been destroyed by its enemies. It looks like the autocracy of Rockeron got access to this system, Ramstan, so I can redirect my transport fleets here to land on Jerg Quindala until we're ready to use them. And I think, well, we're about 5 days away from that station, but I think we're going to push on and enter orbit of Ramstan and repair there. So we have won the war. Autocracy of Raccaron got the one system that had a planet, and Tendrzun got the two that did not. It says the sovereignty remains a subject of the Tendrzun. Nope, they didn't remain a subject. They got obliterated. How much longer do you have the peace treaty? Oh yeah, August of next year. You know, after we get repaired, since technically the Tendrzun are currently our allies, we could relocate to Pudanis or Zanbor in preparation for our invasion. I'm thinking Zanbor. Now these systems should already have claims on them by the Tendrzun, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So it wouldn't do me any good really to claim these if I am in a war with the Tendrzun. They're going to get those systems back. All of these have some level of claim by the Tendrzun. I did notice, since we switched to Continental World from Savannah World, it wasn't in the same area. Even though this is their home world, the Regirans only have 60% habitability. Now, their habitability would normally be only 20% for Continental. That extra plus 20 is due to it being their home world, and we have 20% worth of bonuses for everyone. So they're getting 40 extra percent. So until their preferences change, these are actually a fairly useless species for us. I am debating on simply declining them right now, but I think I will hold off until I get the means to do further modifications, more modification points, and can possibly get the clone vats so we can start growing replacements before we start getting rid of them, and then I might just do an outright purge on them.
Science Division reports success.
Stellar expansion. Our future lies in the Sea of Stars. Oh, less claim influence cost. Less war exhaustion gain. Ancient nano missile cluster cloud launcher. Very high rate of fire missile launcher. Like the ultimate swarmer, but it's a small missile instead. But the average damage is so damn low, I'm not sure if it's worth it, honestly. Networked amenities. Uses rare crystals. More fleet command limit. We want the claim influence cost because we're having to make claims now. This will take a year, and I'm still going to leave Rupert in here because I'm hoping for more modification points. We'll have the upgraded mineral purification hubs next month. Now, since we got star bases, we need to start planning for some additional anchorages. And now that we don't have to worry about trade routes so much, although we could create a trade route over here and be able to link it up, I'm just going to wait for gateways. What we need to do is put them over colonies so we could eventually do things like the black site, off-world black site when we get it, to boost stability. So where do we need... Oh, one problem though, if we build them over systems, it's going to snag the trade value and then create potential for piracy. That's something that'll really have to wait till gateways, probably. Well, if we grabbed Hantaran, we'd just have it link up with Tabor. Or we could go ahead and link up this way by getting Ofang, Koldax, and when we get more, we'd get Niamba and Rastabon, and then we could probably have Larkin's Singularity start grabbing this trade for now. But yeah, Ofang probably would be a decent one. Yeah, we have no potential for piracy currently. And we can also begin the upgrade of a second one, so we'll just upgrade its sister. And get Ofang and Koldax going. And then next two will be Niamba and Rastabon. Yeah, we have exceptional grade 2 here. If we got rid of 3 detection arrays, we could get enough trade collection to get all of the trade value over here. And we drop 3 grades, so we would no longer be exceptional. We would be very high, I believe. There's enough people abstaining to oppose this, damn it.
Battle debris secured.
Tachyon sensors, 50% to extended combat algorithms, 10% for the others, improved strikecraft, flak artillery, and advanced afterburners. The good thing is, that means improved strikecraft will no longer be showing up on our list. Extended combat algorithms gives us a huge chunk toward it. We should be able to finish it fairly quickly. Now that you are done with that, let's have you do active reconnaissance down there. After you repair, I'll send you to Podanis. Another Fortress Legionnaire reinforcement on its way. 2 more right here. Alright, that was a destroyer.
Science Division report success.
2 battleships. And this is a battleship, a cruiser, and 3 corvettes. Along with another corvette and another destroyer. Strikeforce Dragon. You're stealing my names! Advanced mineral purification. 2nd stage processing of pseudo-refined materials allows for more efficient storage and transportation. Synthetic crystal plants and exotic gas refineries are priorities at this point. Yeah, we have the flak cannons, the advanced afterburners, all of them move down there. So let's get our refineries knocked out. 8 months for synthetic crystal plants. Hopefully we will get the others to pop up so we can get all of our refineries ready. And in October, I will be able to start upgrading a whole bunch of mineral purification plants. But holding-wise, that now makes us eligible for the Ministry of Extraction. To get the Ministry of Acquisition, we need the upgraded food processing. But we already had the upgraded energy. This one is unlocked by the upgraded mineral purification plants. And this final one is unlocked by the upgraded food processing. All nice and positive. See, some of us know how to maintain the loyalty of our subjects. Soran. Fortress Legionnaires is fully repaired. Now that they are repaired, I'm going to go ahead and move them to Podanis. You know what? Let's embark our armies from here and move them down to Podanis as well. Have them... I'm not taking hostile, I'm just being friendly. Okay. We'll re-land them here for now. Ednoran League is in a migration treaty with the Star Realms of Shar. Hegemony of Ubaria is in a migration treaty with the Verzak. If everybody abstaining opposed this damn thing, we would knock it down. Soran was given association status by the Allied Independent Systems. We need 70,000 to shoot this down. I don't see that happening. Soran ended their association status. Didn't even last a month. So let's go ahead and go to policies and go to subtle interference. That prevents us from invading. Now let's see what that does to our factions. -10 approval rating. So it went from +5 to -10. Not great. And it looks like our factions are fairly well split. We're higher on xenophobia, or xenophobe faction, than the other two, but the other two are about equal. Let's make sure we aren't in breach of that. Damn it, I said pause. Alright, the resolution has been passed. We are not in breach of it. Some people are in breach of the Non-Interference Act. We have become second place. So, where's can't change council size to 2? Support that. We could oust the hierarchy of Moffith and be up here as the second council member. Let's see, our overall current weight. Our base diplomatic weight is jumping quite a lot from some other bonuses. Alright, their current value is 34,332. And they have a base weight of 20k. We have a base weight of 18k. So I think we could stay up here with the envoys. Building a Better Tomorrow looks like it's going to be the next one. I might pull my support from it to enable to get the council veto power up. In 6 months, we would be able to do an emergency measure. I might just wait 6 months and emergency measure that one in so that we can get the veto power. And then once we have the veto power, I can start vetoing some of these that I don't want. Now, I didn't get a favor for this one because I wasn't supporting it. Council election is imminent. We will be in it in 6 months. But we need to keep an eye on it, make sure somebody doesn't bump us around. And since it's an even-numbered year, it is time to begin another hyper relay. After we finish that one, we need to move to Sim. And from Sim, we will get Rakaron, their capital, first, before we jump over down this way to Ramstan. Actually, we don't need to get Ramstan. It has a hyper relay. We just need to get to Hazar to connect them. The lack of migration treaties is what is really hurting us on population growth. We don't have any planets that we can migrate to. We have more immigration pull than push, so none of our planets have reached a level of population that they are able to send migrants elsewhere. But not having any immigration from other worlds is what is really hurting our population growth. That is one of the drawbacks with Xenophobe. I don't feel the 10% bonus you get with Xenophobe is worth the offset of losing migration treaties. Uthabulin Union broke the migration treaty with Democratic Glirin Union. Tendrazun Star Conglomerate has established a new branch office on Melpomenia. Why aren't you establishing branch offices on planets, established planets that can have 4? Which does remind me, they did do one on Bastion. Not Bastion. They did one on one of my other planets that could have 4. Which was it? Leffingwell. Nope. St. Natchbull? Yes. Okay, so we have the Commercial Forum and the Corporate Embassy. They're working on private research enterprises and a public relations firm there. Sovereignty of Tuxcali is in a commercial pact with the Tender Sun. Hegemony of Ubaria broke their migration treaty with the United Nations of Earth. United Miravandium and the Citadel Research Institute are no longer in research agreement. Allied Multics broke their migration with the United Nations of Earth. I haven't even checked how well this war over here has gone. Attackers are 50% exhausted. So the attackers are getting more exhausted than the lone defender here, which is the hierarchy of Moffith. It is holding its own very well, I guess. Oh my lord, yeah, they have really pushed in here to basically resubjugate the Veteresians. Citizens Confederation of Gavazul has pushed in on their western border, but they are also pushing into them. Now, as far as the claim prioritization, I've already put a claim on Trappist. I did that last year, so we have a claim on Trappist. The next one I will claim will be Dalkham. And then the next one I will claim after that will be Jotham. Now, even if I don't get around to claiming these two, that would still be enough to obliterate the Uthabulan Union, because if they don't keep any systems that have colonies, they can't exist. So these two are just gravy. I don't really need to claim them, so to speak, but I can. They've finally broken their secret fealty to us. We were never able to get over there to help them because the annoying allied independent systems have been in our way. We got a huge chunk. They had record profits during this fiscal interval, so we had huge energy credit boost from them. Before I accept that, okay, yeah, we aren't near our cap. We have fairly decent cap on resources. I have been, since they're fairly cheap, buying alloys every now and then because other people apparently are selling them or something. But I've been proceeding with the upgrades of my
Construction
stations.
complete.
Alright, we can hold off on the upgrades. We can hold off on the anchorages. Let's go ahead and do the upgrade on both of these to at least star hold before we start on the anchorages. I need to wait and see exactly how much capacity I have when all of the Fortress Legionnaire reinforcements have met up with Fortress Legionnaires. They have a capacity of 190 and they still are waiting for 100, and their end command limit cost will be 115. So I need to see where we will be at when they fully merge. Another thing I need to do, can I upgrade their fleet size again? It would take 5,000 alloys for this. I think I can go ahead and buy 5,000 alloys. Alright, it'll be April of next year before I can check again to see if they can get even bigger. Their new capacity is 270, but they will end up only costing 116 so far.
Science Division reports a new breakthrough.
Positronic AI. Evolving artificial intellects are opening the door to the possibility for true synthetic sapience. Boost our artisan output. Get the particle lance. That's the one that melts armor. See, that would take 4 years, just about, 3.5. Ion Disruptor would be 1.5 years. Plasma Cannon would be 2.5. Artisan Output would be 2.5. Advanced Combat Rolls we could knock out in 8 months. Tachyon Sensors would be 2 years. Let's knock out Extended Combat Algorithms. That will allow us to do the Advanced Combat Rolls, which is more boost for our ships. We just got Rare Crystal Manufacturing. The crystallization process is complicated and difficult, but synthetic crystals can be manufactured by using specialized industrial plants. Reactive Armor gives us armor hardening. That just prevents things from bypassing armor. What we want is shield hardening, honestly. Although the armor hardening would help against the disruptors. We don't really need the alloy nano plants right now. Our alloys are fine. Since we're going to be getting one upgrade in about 8 months, flak cannons would take 11. Advanced afterburner would take a year and a half. And it's going to be about a year and a half for or 2 years for the torpedoes. Actually, it'd be about almost 2 years to get the cruiser hull points. 10% cruiser hull points is kind of worth it. We'll go ahead and knock this one out since we still have our specialist in here. Voidcraft expert. She's still got at least 5 years left on her. We have a new proposal. Minor administrative sanctions have been proposed by the Miravandian Enterprises.
Skywatch has sighted a spaceborne life form.
I don't see one in our territory, which is all that concerns me. Alright, the council was reconvened. We are still second place now. I need 4 days before I can declare an emergency measure, and I probably will declare the veto power an emergency measure. Kind of wishing I had actually gotten Thrall Worlds a while back, though I don't really have a place to put it now unless I were to rip down one of these worlds, or until I get another one. I don't believe you can designate habitats as Thrall Worlds. They have to actually be worlds. So it would have to wait until I got the ability to terraform toxic worlds. If I got and they have to be at least size 15, I believe. No, they do not. It is penal colonies, resort worlds, and crucible worlds that have to be size 15. A Thrall world can be any size. So if we get a fairly dinky, otherwise useless world, actually I wonder if I could convert one of these worlds I don't intend to turn into an Ecumenopolis. Like, say, Doran I was planning. Yeah, the ones that have, like, the extraction wells and things. This one I could probably convert into a Thrall world. But I wouldn't be able to build anything but resource districts. Actually, this one might be a good Thrall world. Because it would, I wouldn't need the housing districts for housing. And I could just spam generator districts and they would produce energy and I would have them creating populations for me, basically. But then I would only really have the ones on here that would be good at generators and they'd just be spamming them for my other generator worlds. I'm not sure. I think maybe cloning vats is a better choice than worrying about a Thrall world at this point.
Science Division reports a new breakthrough.
Interstellar campaigns. A well-oiled war machine is the key to exerting influence on a galactic scale. Backed by the might of our military, we can lay claim to almost anything we want. More star bases. The upgraded food processing facilities. The ability to reverse engineer minor artifacts for bonuses. The large ancient Caviton collapser. That thing punches through armor. Decent range. Reverse engineering minor artifacts would take 7 months. And give us something else we can do for minor artifacts to get like research bonuses or progress in a random tech. Although we aren't really capping on minor artifacts much anymore since I'm spending so many to create museum exhibits just to benefit my Unity improvements right now. More starbase capacity would take 3 years. 14 months for that versus 7 months for that. This one is a rare. So let's get arcane deciphering so we have another use for minor artifacts and can boost our research a bit more. And let us make enable cancel veto power an emergency measure. Right now it will pass. Actually, I dropped the ball on that. What I should have made an emergency measure, right now while my diplomatic weight was higher, was changing the council size to 2. Although it may have failed. Yeah, it depends on how many were opposed versus abstaining. But being able to boot out the hierarchy of Moffith would have been a good idea. I probably should have emergency measured that one. It's going to be another 7,200 days. Okay, 720 is 2 years. So 20 years before I can do another emergency measure. Yeah, I really should have at least leveraged that one. Even if it failed, it would have been a shot at getting us down to 2. Because the more weight I can have while limiting everyone else's, the better. Now, overtaking the star realm of Shar is going to be difficult. Yeah, they're back to almost 4 times my technology. And their economy is just double mine now? Huh. Their fleets are 4-time mine base. But that's because I have been a little bit limited in my fleet sizes lately. I was looking to declare war and invite attackers. But I do not have the option to invite the Tendrazun into this battle. I have the option to invite people on the other side of the frickin' galaxy, but not the Tendrazun. And I have tried seeing about declaring war against even the Glossworhenians and inviting them, but I do not have that option either. But next year, I'm going to be able to do another claim. I believe it's going to be Dawcom. And if they have not attacked us or the Tendrazun by them, then next year we are beginning, and it's going to be starting out, I guess, as a humiliation. Since I do not still have the option for vassalizing them. I think I would actually want to humiliate them. The Glossworhenians. But we shall see. But that would give us a lot of debris to fuel research attacking this cluster here.
Science Division reports a new breakthrough.
Extended combat algorithms. Further advances in predictive algorithms allow for augmented tactical decision-making in the field. It would be 2 years for more physics research. 12 months for upgraded barrier point defense. I think we'll shoot for that one. We'll have the cruiser hit points about the same time. And then we can do one more set of upgrades for ships. Unless we get something that really pulls to us. And possibly get the flak cannons as well. Although, do we really need barrier point defense? Have we been fighting things that shoot missiles at us? I mean, sure, it's combat. We'll up our combat capability. And it will count as a quick tech advance. But would it be better to go for something else? I mean, we could knock out automated exploration protocols in 4 months. That's a tech, would give us a few tech points. The Curator Exploration Lab, that'll go away and give us, even though we're not doing any surveys anymore, those would be fairly quick tech boosts. But I much prefer to boost things I'm actually using when I get the option. So we are going for barrier point defense. There is not enough abstaining from this to oppose it. Now that it's been a new year, let me check this again real quick. With declare war, invite attackers. No, I'm not giving the option to invite the the Tendrazun. But let's go ahead and claim Dawcom. 121. And in 2 years, in 2357, we can lay claim to Jotham. But before we end this episode, we are going to declare war to humiliate the Glossworhenians.
Standing by to commence offensive operations.
We are not surprised. In fact, we expected this sooner, and you will find that our forces are ready for you. No, I don't think you're ready for me. So now we have all of these hostile forces in the same sector as... Let's just cycle through them all. Okay. So all of those... It's Masum, Vusbaru, Jotham, and... What was that other one? Wherein Sue. Okay. So I can eliminate this because I've seen all of them. Now up here, I think they did have a, yes, they have a 90K battle group here. Now right here we have 67K of ours, plus another 30K and another 15K on top of that, so another 45K. Now they do still have, I think, more. Yeah, they've got a 6K stealthing fleet, another 20K, so this would be a very ugly fight, but we want them to come into Imoleto to try it, because this is a bastion. Our starbase is 60K. And it is loaded with missiles. Yes! You have, even if they're crappy missiles, you have long-range missiles. What does your starbase have? Okay, you do have the autocannons and lasers there. So yeah, we want them to try and push into Imoleto, where our fleets are. Though I actually do want Hippogriff to hold back. So I want to move Hippogriff further back. Because I do not want Hippogriff to take the majority of the losses in this. I need Hippogriff healthy and reinforced after we decimate their fleets, because I want Hippogriff to go into Jotham. I want Hippogriff to try itself against this platform that is all short-range weapons and see how it performs. So we are going to have Strikeforce Medusa take point, because I want the fleets to stay with Strikeforce Medusa. Strikeforce Pegasus will be going in as soon as we advance a day and can do that. And I will be launching my fleets from Mulgarama. And they will move in to work on the colony here in Bombala, colonies. They do have a fairly large garrison. Well, the habitat does not. So we should be able to capture the habitat while we are bombarding Glukenjal. And hopefully sweep through and get these three fairly quickly with Strikeforce Pegasus. And of course, Strikeforce Dragon is going into Massam. I am a 26K fleet. They don't even have a 2K fleet. And their base is only 15K. It's coil guns and disruptors, though. Oh, they do have some missiles. Yay, I get to make use of my point defense. But yeah, the fact that they... Oh, they have some hangars, too. So they actually have some decent defenses. The fact that they switch over to disruptors for station defenses, I don't think those are useful for station defenses, since ships can have long-range weapons, especially once you get to battleships. These disruptors, you'll probably never get to shoot them if you're up against a whole bunch of artillery, cruisers, or battleships. They will never get in range for you to use your disruptors. They will stay back at long range and pummel you with X-class and missiles and large artillery. So yes, medium coil guns might have a chance if the thing's artillery range is about 75 to 80 and you have extended range on your stations. I don't know if it actually shows bonus range on here anywhere. I'm seeing the bonus to hit points and stuff, starbase damage, ship fire rate, but I'm not seeing anything that says extra range to their weapons. But it has been another 5 years, so we'll call this an episode. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.